Hi, in today's episode, we have Dr. Chinna Dua, a social media influencer, singer, empath, a very dear friend, a cook who's out to create health awareness with her yum recipes and rekindle the love for arts and crafts of India. She's the wife of the very well known media personality Vinod Dua and mother to famous star Mallika Dua. But above all, Chinna is my very dear friend, and like many women across India, we need women like Chinna. Chinna encouraged me and encourages so many other women who are rekindling their career or they need help. And this to me is really rare. Welcome, Chinna, in today's episode for my podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm honored.
Thank you so much, Chinna. So tell me a little about your journey, Chinna. You're a doctor and then now you're such a well-known media influencer and you've been helping so many women. From where did it start? What was the start of this journey? Was it by chance? Was it an accident that you discovered that people loved you with your saris? And how did it begin? Tell me a little about it.
Well, since we'd like to keep it brief, I would like to say that I'm a Tamil. In the sense, my parents they belong to Tanjavur in Tamil Nadu, but they moved to Delhi years ago, and I was born and raised in Delhi as the youngest of seven children, Chinna and Tamil being young. And I received immense amount of love from my parents, my siblings, who were much older to me, and till date treat me like their firstborn. Apart from that, having grown up in Mohalla culture in Delhi's government colonies, which had been built by the Britishers, I was exposed to people from different communities, which included my next door neighbors, a Bengali family, who are family to me. So I'm very blessed that I have two families, and they showered me with immense love. And that's where I learned Bangla. Then I learned how to recite in Bangla, sing in Bangla, and all. And that's when it was discovered that I could sing. So because of my singing abilities, I used to win awards as well as receive a lot of love from my friends and families and all. So I think that definitely helped create a positive personality in me. And I was into a lot of extracurricular activities in the school that I went to, Lady Evans School, which is the same school that you went to. But
Yes.
somewhere in the beginning of the ninth class, I had to quit and get a transfer to another school because we shifted residence. And I went to a Tamil school. I was very heartbroken because though my entire family was from that school and people knew me very well there, but my problem was that there were no extracurricular activity, and I had taken up science because in humanities I didn't have a flair for geography, civics, and history. But I loved music. But for just for music, I could not have taken up humanities, so I took up science. Until that time, I was an average student. But this school, because there were no extracurricular activities, I really, really flowered as a student. And I did extremely well. And medicine happened because I did so well. And after having taken science, applied science is what I decided that I would like to do, not pure science. So I became a doctor. And then I met Vinod when I was still doing my house job.
Tell me
And
about that part. What did Vinod fall in love with Chinna? It was
well,
her voice.
so I went to sing on his show. He used to have an
Wow.
early Sunday morning show, and I went to sing on his show. And he never heard me sing before my marriage because it was a whirlwind romance. We met and got married in 15 days, which was the seventh meeting. And
My goodness.
yes, it was only his producer, a Bengali lady, who had heard me, and she apparently went and raved. And but he was not there at the audition. It was only the next day after my marriage that we had some common friend who was a doctor and whom he also knew very well. And then that friend said that because he knew that I sing, so he said, "Ki gana gao." So that's the first time when Vinod heard me. And then Vinod said, then he told Vinod, "Ki tum gao." So I was like taken aback. I said, "Oh God, this guy sings." And I can't tell you how thankful I was to God that I always used to imagine what if my husband can't sing. And but after having met Vinod, that never occurred to me that I should ask whether he sings or not. But discovering this on the next day of my marriage, it was like a bonus. So I was delighted, and that's when began the duets. And the duets then won us a lot of love from our friends, and it's become like singing for your supper. So we are not given the exit pass at parties till we sing. So that is how it happened.
So
And
both of you
then,
sing together.
yes, a lot, a
Oh,
lot.
how lovely is
Mm.
that? Yeah.
And And then we decided we will have two children, and irrespective of the sex of the two children, two girls, two boys, and we have touched wood, by the grace of God, two beautiful daughters. And I'm very thankful to God that they also inherited the singing ability. So both of
Both
them
of them
sing very
sing.
well. Yes, both of them
Wonderful.
sing very well. Yeah.
How
So
fantastic.
then my career took a back seat because I had decided that I don't want to work when my children are very small till such time that they come of age and that they are able to attend a play school. So once they started going to a play school, then I decided to go back to work. And radiology happened because Vinod decided that till such time that I decide on my next course of action, he just spoke to a friend of his who was staying near the clinic where eventually I started working. And he told her that this will be very close to the play school that my children are going to, so she can be usefully occupied. So it was decided that I'll join that place as an observer and not for any payment. But again, I was very fortunate. My boss really loved me, and radiology happened. He said, "Why don't you do your post graduation here?" and all that. So it was like that. And I worked for 24 years there, and it felt like home. Unfortunately, it shut down in 2016, and which resulted in my being really depressed for 6 months because that was like home to me. And at 56, to kind of reinvent yourself, get back to work. I used to work only half
Repeat
days, so
again, Chinna, at 56.
six, yeah, yeah.
My goodness. At
Mm.
56 is, I mean, this is a lesson that goes out to every listener here that, we as women, we live in such an age construct. And the more
Mm.
women I meet today, they're talking about rekindling their careers, in their 50s and in their 60s. And, some people even in their 70s. And it's amazing because, you come back so much more matured when you start at that age. You are way more calmer. It is easier for you to handle setbacks when you're older. So tell me, Chinna, did
True.
you ever feel overshadowed with Vinod and his career, in your life? How did you handle his entire popularity and knowing how talented you yourself are? So this is something that, would go out to a whole lot of women who sometimes do suffer from feeling certain complex where they may not be able to express this entire lifetime of the talent that they have. So did you ever
Uh,
face that?
I think you are, in a way, referring to the movie Abhiman. No, that kind of did not happen because I was very, very conscious of, and I knew who is the person I'm getting married to, and that he is a celebrity. And because he was very popular, and that those days it was a channel, it was the only channel on television, so I knew he was
Yes.
very well known. So I don't know. I always felt proud of him and very, very happy. I had none of those kind of. I'm a feminist, definitely, but not one of those things that people have different concepts of feminism. For me, this was not the thing that I should be more known than him or something like that. No, it was not nothing of that sort. I was very happy that he's so well known, and I'm very proud of him. Very nice that he's recognized everywhere, and because he gave me immense respect, always introduced me very proudly to everyone. I sometimes joke about it because he loves to buy gifts and especially saris. He loves to see me in saris, and he has a great choice as well. So he would always ask me in the beginning of our marriage, if we had to go out anywhere, he would ask me, "Oh, please show me what are you going to wear." नहीं ये वाला पहनो, because he loves to see me in saris, you
How
know. So
lovely.
I used to
And
feel
you
very
look
nice,
beautiful in saris.
and that he's taking interest in it. I never felt ki, who the hell is he to tell me. I never looked at it that way. I always felt that there is so much of love in wanting to flaunt me. What is wrong with that?
So the
Nothing
love
wrong
for
with it.
saris began with Vinod, or it was always early on,
No, it was
very much
always there.
early on.
Always
Okay.
there, because the era in which I was born, 1960s, and in a Tamil family with Bengalis around me. So they were all in saris, the youngsters also, even my sisters and all. I would see them mostly in saris, and it was much later, like my sister immediately next to me, who also is a doctor. I used to see her in trousers and salwar kameezes. My other sisters also used to wear salwar kameezes, but this sister used to be in trousers and all. But otherwise, trousers were not the normal thing those days. It was more of salwar kameez or sari. But
Correct.
saris, yes, galore. And I used to go, obviously, being under the influence of the Bengali family, I used to attend a lot of Durga Puja. The school I went to was Lady of In School, where Saraswati Puja, that is Basant Panchami. I think the first time I wore a sari, I recently said in my video also, That was at the age of 8 when I was in class 3. My sisters converted a dupatta into a sari and made me wear it, and I put pins everywhere so that it would be secure. And I went to school. And you also know that Lady Haven School on Saraswati Puja,
Yes,
all
we
the
all
girls,
wear saris.
Bengalis or non-Bengalis, everybody would wear saris. So that's how it started. And then during Durga Puja, seeing all those women in their beautiful tangais, and this Bengali family that I grew up in, Mama would give me gifts from the time I was born, every birthday as well as Durga Puja. But when I turned 11 and I was in class 6, he started gifting me saris. That is how my collection started. My first sari was bought by him. So that's how it happened. And they were mostly Tangail saris from West Bengal. And then there were a lot of hand me downs or shared saris between me and my sisters, my bhabis. And then when I got married to Vinod, wherever he would go for a shoot, he would always buy me saris. That's how my collection started. And whenever we would go out, if I were to wear something else other than sari, Vinod will never say, you have to change into a sari. No. He would always say that, you stand out in a sari. You look very different and gorgeous. If somebody puts it that way, you'll always feel that, oh, it's so much nicer. Why not? Why don't I wear sari? That's how I think I developed a love for sari. And yes, it was a fact that whenever I would wear saris and go to any parties, I would get much more compliments. Today, the state of affairs is such that where women my age, I'm not judging anybody, and neither am I saying that everybody should wear saris. But there are many, irrespective of whether it suits them or not, they are all in dresses and frocks and skirts because some of them look awesome. Some of them, I feel that it's like a wannabe kind of a thing because XYZ is wearing, so I should also wear. Okay, fine. If that's what they want to do, because it's one life after all, they want to do it, let them go ahead and do it. But those parties also, I remember, I'm the only odd one out in a sari. And many parties it has happened, I'm the only one. But people have walked up to me and said, oh, I wish I had also worn a sari. I had taken out a sari, but I felt like wearing this, so I wore it. That's fine, absolutely fine. But I
What's your
get
favorite
compliments.
weave? What is your favorite,
I really cannot say that because I love all of them, but I can say the favorite sari that I have is a gorgeous sari, a gift of love from my husband from Banaras when he went to do Zaika India Ka Banaras. He bought this organza sari, shikarga, and you have to see it to believe it, the kind of motifs on it. It's like amazingly intricate. It's one of a kind.
How wonderful. And what is the color
Mhm.
of that sari?
It's pink
Wow.
and very muted, subtle gold tissue. It's absolutely gorgeous.
So you also do your bindi based on the motif on your sari. I mean, and that
Yeah, this
requires
happened
time.
when I was only 17 and I joined college. And in amongst Tamilians, it's very important that you sport a bindi. And I remember even for a male child, they would always put a like a kala tika bindi to the baby. And I remember my father asking me whenever I would wear Indian dresses, I would always put on a bindi, just a small dot or something. And I have a wide forehead, so my forehead would kind of look incomplete without a bindi. I always felt that with Indian dresses, irrespective of whoever wears it, I always feel that bindi lights up their face. That is my
Absolutely.
personal feeling.
Yeah, I also
So
think
I
so. It
and
looks
I
beautiful.
I always find that when I find something missing in anyone who wears a sari or a salwar kameez or any Indian dress, but not a bindi, I feel, oh God, it's a bias, I can say, but that's how it is.
But the
And
bindi
then
looks absolutely awesome on you.
yeah, and somebody had gifted a set of 24 to my sister when I was 17. I joined medical college, and it came with a pamphlet with pictures and on designs. So I just started experimenting, and then I said, why should I copy these designs? Why not designs on my dress? So that's how it happened, because I had a palette of colors, and so I started experimenting. And then Vinod always would say that later on stick-on bindis happened, and I would put on stick-on bindi. He would say, "Hey, Chinna, why not the handcrafted ones? They look so much nicer." Because he's a very arty person. He loves all these things. So he would say, "नहीं यार, stick-on bindi तो सब लोग लगा लेते हैं. तुम जो करती हो वो कुछ और बात है." And everybody would always appreciate those bindis. So that's how it is. Not, I know many people will kind of. perceive this as, trying to please my husband. And I would say that even if I were to, what is wrong? Because if he loves me so much and he is offering me some suggestions, huh? And if I say something to him, if he also does it in return, what is wrong with it? Nothing wrong,
How
I think.
lovely. You're
Mm,
giving out
mm,
such a
mm,
message, for
mm,
so
mm,
many people in today's world who struggle with their
mm.
relationships, and they,
Yeah,
that
they,
it is about listening to each other and, respecting each other's wishes.
yeah.
Tell me a little, Chinna, about this dark patch of your life where you struggled with the dreaded C and, and
That
you
was
came out
in
of it. Yeah.
2014. So, like I said, I've been in the radiology department. And now looking back, there were certain studies that we used to do, the barium studies, and there were other studies which required me to be in the room. And now looking back, I feel so bad that there were no thyroid shields those days for us. My major part of my work has been mammography, but that doesn't cause it. It is the kind of X-rays, the tests that I used to be doing, where I used to be right under the machine, and I used to have a lead apron, but not any thyroid shield. I think that's where I got it. And this was in 2004 that I discovered one day while brushing my teeth. I noticed that there was a lump in my neck, and which moved with the swallowing. Being a doctor, I knew that this must be a thyroid lump. Same day I got it checked, and on ultrasound they said it looks benign. Then I got a nuclear medicine test done. They said nothing to be done and it looks benign. Of course, I was always conscious of it, and I never discussed it with anybody, including my sister, who's a surgical oncologist. And I used to interact with so many doctors. I used to meet so many doctors at parties. No one noticed it. No one ever even said anything to me. It was only in 2014, our daughter was about to get married, and I started developing a headache in the month of September. She was to get married in November. And then I started getting checks done on my own. I said, I'm a hypertensive, so I checked my blood pressure. It was under control. And then I got the MRI brain. It was all right. Then I got my ultrasound, Doppler done. And while doing the Doppler, my colleague, while moving from one side to the other, he put the probe in when it crossed the middle of the neck. So he said, Ma'am, what is this? And that's when he said, Ma'am, we need to biopsy this. And it was, just 2 months to my daughter's wedding, and we were absolutely shattered and distraught as to what is going to happen. And I was very, very scared of losing my voice. And prior to that, during my singing classes, I used to find a little bit of strain, which I always attributed to aging and to pollution, and never thought that there was something organic there. Anyways, so then I got operated for that. My sister, the surgical oncologist, she only chose one of her friends, and she flew down for the surgery. And then I received some radioactive iodine. Now my thyroid is gone, so I'm on a thyroid replacement therapy. So obviously, it has. My concern was that it should not affect my voice, and the doctor told me nothing will happen. Don't worry. And my voice is intact, but definitely I feel a little bit of strain and fatigue, which in any case, having turned 60 plus, with age, there is a change in the voice, and your
For
voice never remains the
you,
same. So, huh?
for you, age is just a number. I mean, look at you. You radiate. Every morning when I just scroll through my social media pages, I find you in these beautiful, resplendent saris all over. And you've had a little bit of a skirmish, or let's just say an incident that changed you about this whole sari group of women that you had first joined. Would you like to talk about it? Because I remember when we
Yeah.
met for the first time, you had mentioned this to me about how, and of course, you were hurting with it, and that's the reason you brought it up. So, what had happened,
Yeah.
Chinna?
So I always used to receive these invites from various groups to join them, and I always stayed away from them because I always felt a little wary of all women's group, because I think, having been to an all women's school and all women's college also, that sometimes I feel and I've experienced this, that women trying to pull women down. Maybe there are, of course, men also trying to pull women down. I'm not denying that, or men trying to pull men down also. That also must be happening. But I think by and large, the women that I have spoken to, they also agree that it does happen a lot more with women. So I was very wary and I didn't want to join. But one of my dear friends, she persuaded me, and she said, "Tum join karke dekho, and start posting. If you don't enjoy it, you can, always exit." I said, "Okay." But
And this is a WhatsApp group you're talking about?
no, this is a Facebook
A
group.
Facebook group, okay.
Yeah, this is during that time when I joined. There was apparently some case which was already simmering there of of moral policing which was happening. But I wasn't told about it. I wasn't aware of it. Had I known, I would not have continued. And then I gained a lot of popularity rather soon. And those days, there was some newspaper which had covered interviewed me for something, and so all those articles had appeared, and people had shared it on that group, which I think the admin couldn't take. I don't know what it was, and considering that there were these two admins who were known to my husband for many years. The obnoxious way in which they behaved, it was absolutely shocking that people who have known, and they knew me also for so many years, but they did that. So I was proved right that whatever I was skeptical about, that only happened. And ultimately, one day when I was trying to post, because what had happened is the day prior to that, I had worn a blouse with almost 3 inches strap. So it was a sleeveless blouse with 3 inches strap. So I was sent a message on WhatsApp group, like the headmistress or a principal sending a memo, issuing a memo that no strappy blouses, and in block letters. And I found that terrible. And when I went and logged in, I found there were these two women, one with a noodle strap, the other one with half-inch strap, and where the admin had commented Ati Sundar on one, and another one looking like a calendar girl. And I, who is just a few years younger to you have the cheek to send me a message like that. So I just wrote to both these girls. You're very fortunate that you're being complimented, whereas I have been admonished and told not to wear a 3 inch strappy blouse. So I knew what was coming because they don't have an appetite for truth. So lo and behold, in the evening when I tried to post, I realized that I was unable to post and that I had been deleted. And the good thing was that many people exited when I was thrown out. And after that, I thought I will not join any more groups. But I must say that I made some wonderful friends in that group, and many of them had started other groups as well. So I said, no, why should I take such a strong decision? There are there are all kinds of people in this world. So why should I deprive myself the company of other people? So I joined other groups, and now I don't post. I rarely post on any other sari group. I only post on my timeline and on Instagram, because once Instagram happened, it became quite a lot to handle. So I felt that there was no point in posting on multiple pages. So sari groups have now taken a back seat. It's mainly my Instagram page which I focus on, and I post parallelly on my Facebook timeline.
Tell me a little about your pet peacock.
There is no pet peacock.
Of course, there is a pet
No,
peacock who comes in to
no.
admire you every
No,
time.
it's not a pet peacock. This. If you come to civil lines, you will see there are peacocks galore. In fact, today I'm going to shortly upload a video. You feel like you are living, of course, amidst nature, but it was like a zoo this morning. I was woken up with the noise of thumping sounds, and I realized what they call as Vanar Sena. You can't even imagine the number of monkeys in the lawn. Okay,
In
and
your
they were,
house lawn.
yes, the way they were
Wow.
playing and jumping down from trees. It was just a sight to be seen, and I managed to click a video of that.
Oh, how lovely is
So,
that?
so there are peacocks galore, and when I used to walk before the lockdown at my friend's house in the neighborhood, so she has a huge lawn. Sometimes there would be 7, 8 peacocks with whom I would be walking.
How wonderful is that? I mean, to imagine this in Delhi is like totally
In the heart
unimaginable
of
in the
Delhi,
heart
in
of
the heart
Delhi.
of Delhi,
Yes, in the heart
absolutely.
of Delhi. Yes.
Mm,
So, also,
yeah.
Chinna, I'd really like to know a little about, the amazing connection on which we spoke about, your music connection and being on stage with Tina Sani.
With Tina Sani. Tina Sani is, I have no words to say, how God connects people. We used to watch her on PTV when satellite TV started. No, sorry, when that dish Antina started, I used to love that song of hers called Bahar Ai, which was written by Faiz. And I never thought it was a dream that I would meet her someday, and it did happen thanks to a friend. She had come to sing at a concert in Delhi, and I met. And then after that, we connected on WhatsApp. And then when I went for Faiz Festival in 2015, and before that, in fact, when I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, she had been to Nankana Sahib. She had prayed for me. And then in 2015, when the last day at Fairs Festival, when she was singing, she announced that she's going to sing Hum Dekhenge. And she said, मैं ये
I
अकेले कभी
get
नहीं
the
गा सकती
goosebumps with
है.
that song.
मैं अकेले नहीं गा सकती, so I want all of you to join in. So I was sitting somewhere, and one of my friends was sitting on the floor. She just summoned to me. She said, "Why don't you come and sit here? Because you sing this song, so you come and sit here." So suddenly Tina spotted me. We had met the previous night also for dinner, and she had spotted me in that dark. And she suddenly stopped and she said, "I'm going to ask my friend who's visiting from Delhi to come and sing." I was taken aback.
This is which year
And
in Pakistan?
2015,
Wow.
22nd of November.
Wow.
It's a date which is etched in my memory. I can never forget it. And Vinod was sitting at the back. He was like thrilled to bits, absolutely. He knew that I sing this song. I'd sung it at various fairs events in Delhi also. So I went on stage, and can you imagine a person of her stature? How gracious can anybody be to be able to share your stage with someone? The kind of compliments that she gave me, and I sat with her, and she kept showing me her paper on which she had written the lyrics in Urdu, but I can't read Urdu. But this song is something which I know absolutely by heart. And I said, okay, I'll just sing it. And I sang with her. The only thing I feel very bad about is I wish they would release that video. They haven't released that video, and I managed to get it from people who had shot it. So those days the cameras were not very high resolution. So, but it's in my memory. Nothing can erase that.
पर मेरे
So she
पॉडकास्ट सुनने वाले तो सुन ही सकते हैं आपसे दोबारा हम
so
देखेंगे
she's a
तो
soul
हो
sister
जाए
to me.
चिन्ना हम देखेंगे
वो दिन के जिसका वादा है हम देखेंगे जो लोहे अज़ल में लिखा है हम देखेंगे लाजिम है कि हम भी देखेंगे हम देखेंगे लाजिम है कि हम भी देखेंगे हम देखेंगे जब जुल्म सितम के कोहेगरा रूही की तरह उड़ जाएंगे हम अहले सफा मरदूदे हरम मसनद पे बिठाए जाएंगे सब ताज उठा ले जाएंगे सब तख्त गिराए जाएंगे हम देखेंगे लाजिम है कि हम भी देखेंगे हम देखेंगे
My God, I
I
get
don't
the
know, maybe
goosebumps. This is beautiful.
I
You
don't know, maybe if
know,
I mixed up the lines or something of the stanzas, I'm sorry for that. Old age is catching up.
thank you so much, Chinna. You are an inspiration to women like me who's rebooted and so many more. You're such a warm heart. You embrace any and everybody, which is rare, as I repeat again. It is an honor for me to have you today on my podcast. I look forward to seeing you in person in Bangalore very soon to more
Very
fairs,
soon, inshallah.
more saris, and lots more golpo.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm honored and have a great life ahead.
Thank you, Chinna.